to like round it off,
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't fall through the mask. And down to my chin, which is the worst. Sometimes you drink liquid, it gets stuck down there, and you're like, ah.
Gross.
Yeah. Hello, humans. I am Ophidian, the master of snake style and maker of masks at Closet Champion.
And I am the voice of a skeleton army in mortal form.
This is our monthly Q&A, May edition.
Q&May, as I want to call it.
First, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is an edited, cut version from our monthly Q&A over on our Patreon.
If you would like to ask us questions, you can head over to patreon.com/closetchampion and join for as low as $2. And then you get all access pass to the Cobra household.
What is the most elaborate gear you've been asked to make?
So I've definitely made a lot of different intense items over the course of my making career.
Yeah.
I've made a headless man. I've made a giant rose that a young girl had to blossom out of. But the one I want to feature today is specifically the costumes that I won an award for. And that's the costumes from the dance film Takako vs. Nine Lives. It was made by some people over at Temple University, and they hired me to make luchador ballerina outfits for them to dance in that would change based on how the performance went. So I had to make a lucha mask for one of the dancers, as well as this costume that had octopus tentacles. And I remember spending hours and hours cutting out each individual little octopus sucker to applique onto the tentacles, as well as it had a removable eye. And then we won an award.
Awards. What has the harder to overcome creative blocks? Writing music or making new gear? How do you overcome those blocks or walls when they happen?
When I have a creative block for writing music, I basically just say it's not time to write music. The actual creation of music, I feel like if I force it, it's not as good. If I feel inspired in the moment to write a song or to do production on something, I will use that energy for as long as I can, and then when it's done, I can go do other stuff. I feel like I kind of have to take advantage of it while I have it. I normally have to kind of let it happen, let various inspirations come through. I don't think necessarily that I have creative blocks writing music because I don't force it on myself. When it comes to wrestling gear, what I do is I like to look up other similar either wrestlers or other costumes that I think would be good inspiration, or that have elements that I like or that I think would make sense for the client or the occasion, whatever it may be.
I think we mentioned this in the video where you talk about helping me write my promos. We will look to other media that can inspire us. I know I do that for video editing, I do that for promos. I will just consume other artists' work to see how they may have handled a similar situation, and hope that opens up the pathways in the brain.
We are always just in our lives, we constantly watch behind the scenes on every movie we like or every TV show we enjoy or any kind of piece of media that one of my big things right now is Defunct Land. I've kind of gotten Ophidian onto it, but watching these behind the scenes things about how either certain creators or moguls worked through their problems or the shortcomings that they faced and then overcame, I think that sort of keeps us at this kind of like always figuring, always problem solving mindset.
What is the hardest wrestling move you've ever pulled off? Probably the most dangerous move I've done was one I've done more recently. It was at one of the last independent shows before the pandemic hit. It was at GCW, and it was against Nick Gage. We all were going hard for what could have been the last independent show for a long time. So we all wanted to give our best efforts possible for not only the people there, but for the live crowd watching at home. So there's a balcony in the Voltage Lounge that I would say is about 20 feet or more above the floor. So it's a very high balcony. And there's a guardrail set up blocking the balcony so that people can watch and look over and, not fall down. So I went up in that balcony. I took a big running start and leaped over the guardrails into a swanton, essentially a front flip, down to the ring. That's an extremely risky move. Not only do I not have the ability to see before I leap over the guardrail, I have to trust that my jump and my flight was correct, and that I've jumped far enough to actually make it to the ring, but then also hold myself in air in that dive position so that I don't over rotate and break an ankle or any other part of my leg, and then also hopefully hit my opponent on the way down.
Also, you don't practice that.
Yeah, you can't practice
you just
those.
do it. You just jump off a balcony.
Yeah.
You just jump off a whole balcony.
Yeah.
You just do it, because it's wrestling, because this is the life we live.
And it hurts.
You didn't actually get that messed up from it. You just
No,
said
because I did hit Nick Gage.
the bruise on his butt, though, was purple for like 2 weeks. It looked like a kiss mark. Like you had a purple lipstick tattoo.
It was the point of impact where my body hit Nick Gage. Is there a type of fabric that you deadass hate working with?
Spandex.
Spandex.
Vinyl.
Foam?
Did you say spandex, vinyl, and foam simultaneously? It's almost like I'm living a waking nightmare every second of every day. Every time I've told a traditional seamstress what we do, they basically just like, don't get near me, I don't want to know. Faux fur. Faux fur is awful. No matter how carefully you cut it, like, we started doing this method where we use an X-Acto knife from the back because we saw a documentary about the Muppets where that's where they were cutting their fabric. So they just used an X-Acto knife or like a razor blade on the back of the fur, which is like a knit fabric. And even if you do it that way, which is the least amount of like excess fluff possible, you still get fur everywhere. It gets in your machine, it gets stuck on the needle, it gets stuck in the gears of the machine.
It's all over the room.
It's all over the room, it's all over the other commissions. It's awful. Working with faux fur is terrible. But if you would like to have a slightly easier time of working with faux fur, my recommendation is before you sew it together, after you've cut it out and there's just fur floating everywhere, to have the least problems possible. You want to brush out the seam area, like around the cut edge, with a cat brush. And that can kind of help take off some of the extra bits before you subject your machine to truly torture.
You came here for questions and answers, and you're walking away with some tips.
Full on knowledge, just dropping it right there. Hope you pick it up.
So that's it for the May edition of our question and answer.
Q and May.
The Q and May. If you've got more questions that you would like us to answer, you can drop them over on patreon.com/closetchampion. Or if you're part of our Patreon already, you already know the Discord's also open for you too.
And this isn't just to say we just take these questions during the Q&A. Like, we don't just ask for questions for the Q&A and only answer questions for our patrons here. If you are part of our Patreon, having access to our Discord server means that you essentially are on an IM chat with the entire community that we have there all the time. And we have invited multiple other mask makers and gear makers in the community to help make that a real knowledge source and a place where we can all discuss different techniques and tools.
Or just a place to vent.
Yeah.
Your struggles in mask making, gear making in general,
Or
because
just
this is
in
hard.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had a lot of people hang out in the Discord server and just, we've definitely seen friendships form and it's been really cool. We have a really great community over there and we'd love for you to be part of it if that's your bag.
Be sure to follow myself on all social media at Ophidian Cobra, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Unfortunately, I can't pronounce my screen name in the original skeleton language that they were made in. So you can find me at I am Kate Nix on Twitter and Instagram, as well as youtube.com/KateNix and twitch.tv/KateNix.
Thanks to everybody that participated in this month's Q&A, and we look
Q&A.
We look forward to what you have in store for us next month. Goodbye, humans. Hello, humans. I am Ophidian. I am Ophidian.
And I am the voice of a skeleton army in mortal form.
And this is our monthly... Oh. How do I follow that up?
Oh, our boy.